Hello, everybody. We finally made it. I am so sorry for the delays. We have had technology issues, and as you can probably tell, I'm going to see whether me muting might help. Oh, no. Let me just see. So, as you can probably tell, we have had some challenges, and can you still hear me if I do that? It hasn't stopped the...
I certainly can hear you twice.
So we've had some technology challenges, to be fair. So Paul Martin is now talking through his phone, so then we can get the sound. But Paul Martin is also having to hear me twice, which for those of you who have heard me once know that that's a bit of torture. So feeling very bad for Martin. So what we're going to try and do is we're going to try and run this as fast as we can to minimize the torture for Martin. But we have him here, which is great. And Martin, it is wonderful to have you joining us. Now, just whilst we're getting everybody sorted and people are jumping online, don't forget, people, you need this bottle here. You need your bottle of Revenge, and you will need a mixer. Now, I don't know about you guys. I've got my glass of ice ready. I've also got my tasting notes all ready. So I've got them already here. And I'm also going to try it with this one, the Old World Tonic. Yeah. So that's what I'm going to be sampling with tonight. I don't know what you're all sampling with, but wonderful to have you joining us this evening. So, Martin, it is great to have you joining us, and thank you so much for joining us. And thank you as well for putting your bottle of gin or your Revenge gin into our tasting box, because there's a bit of a story behind this gin, isn't there?
There is a little bit of a story.
And I know.
Do you want to hear the tortured part?
We do, because I know that our members love a good story, and we would love to hear all about it, Martin.
Okay. This little gin started quite a few years ago, and it's had several names. And originally, it was going to be called 15 Fathoms.
Oh, I like that.
And it was going to be called 15 Fathoms because that's the depth of the anchor that James Cook dropped his little rope thing, anchorage thing down to the Sound. But then several people told me it sounded too much like 42 Below.
Oh, okay. I get that distinction, yeah.
Which didn't impress me, but there we go. So I fluffed around for a while with a name, and I wanted to come up with something unique. And I was just sitting in a car, and I came up with the name Black Rose, and it was going to be called Black Rose, a Unique Gin.
Mm.
And my English designer lady at the time designed a little logo with it, and that was cool. And I went and actually trademarked that name in several countries. Even though it wasn't actually producing anything. Don't kill the dream, you've got to fake it till you make it.
I love it.
So that was cool. In the meantime, what I'd done on the making of the gin, my first distill, I've purchased every type of still that is wrong for the making of gin. every false trail you can go down, I've done it. I've learned from experience the hard way. In fact, the very first still I purchased from this Russian guy, I knew so little about the making of gin that I put water into it and phoned him and complained that there was no alcohol coming out of it. I said, now now when I look back, I thought, what a twist. But anyway, getting back to the story of the Black Rose. After I've actually done 143 distillations in the actual making of it, and the way I make gin is I actually do a maceration process. So all my botanicals are macerated actually initially under a bed that I was sleeping on. So I didn't tell people I was doing this in secret. But the maceration process I found it takes 3 weeks. So when I read in these big commercial stills that they throw botanicals into a still and leave it there for 24 hours, I know that that's a marketing exercise, and that does nothing to take the essential oils from the botanicals and put them into the liquid. And that annoys me when I see that, because I've been down there and done that, and that's just rubbish. But anyway, I've done everything, and I've done things like get juniper berries and smash them up and see what happens. Can you see that little still behind me?
Yes.
Can you see that thing?
Yep.
That's one of my little testing stills that I used many years ago, and it takes about 5 litres of alcohol. And when I was originally learning, I was putting in 2.5 litres. And one of the things I learned, and this is for anyone who's starting out, is that the making of gin, think of it as like baking a cake. There's no recipe. And if you throw all the ingredients in, as I was for the first 6 months, the reason you're not getting anything out is because you're not familiarizing yourself with each botanical. So what you have to do is eventually I sat there one night with some juniper berries and squashed one in my fingers, and I thought, what I've got to do is I've got to get the smell and the taste of that into that liquid. And then my heart sunk because I realized it was one botanical at a time. It's a layering effect. And that really is just a bit of a killer.
All right, so I think that we can continue this story, because I know that there'll be some people going, hang on a minute, when are we going to taste this? You're talking about it, when are we going to taste it? So let's just all have a sniff while Martin's telling us about squashing juniper berries.
Now this particular in the bottle is actually really meant to be a very light, summery type drink, inoffensive, and in some ways, in all honesty, not to be complicated with layering of different. I've got one that Sarah doesn't know that I'm working on at the moment. That's going to be a lot more in depth.
Wow. So a really strong floral on the nose, right, Martin?
There is a floral on the nose, yes.
Very, that's quite strong. I'm interested to see whether it translates into the flavour. What's everybody else getting?
No, it's very strong, and around the edges of it, if you can really get your nose going, it has a little. I use a plant here called Kauriki leaf, which is a New Zealand botanical, and I was getting them from the Oratia plant nursery before the plant nursery decided to sell up and convert their whole nursery into property development. So I know. So now I've got. Luckily, I managed to salvage a few plants, and I've got a friend actually growing them for me.
Oh, fantastic! That's great.
So what is actually the Kauriki leaf is actually referred to as New Zealand aniseed. It's a very small leaf.
Yeah.
And when you pick it off and you smell it, it smells of nothing. Break it in your fingers and then put it to your nose, and you get this wonderful aniseed around the edges of it. It's really good. Now, in other batches that I've made, around the outside you can really smell it. But I've had some people tell me to take it out because they don't like the smell of it. Which as a small guy, you seem to get pushed around.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Or I should be stronger and say, no, boy, I'm going to put it back in.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you get a one-dimensional sort of smell.
Yeah. Can you just repeat the name for Cordula? She's just asking what's that botanical that you're talking about?
It's spelled Koh.
Koher. IKI.
Yes.
The
Latin name is Scandia rosifloria.
Oh, okay. If you needed to know that one, Cordula, there you go. So Kohoriki leaf.
Kohoriki leaf.
Yeah.
And it's really quite hard to find. And if you find someone who can grow it for you, you keep them as a secret.
Very good.
Well, I was horrified when I went to the plant nursery and saw it gone.
Oh yeah, I bet you were. So for everyone that's looking for the name of it, just on your tasting notes in that cocktail that Martin gave us, you'll see the second line from the bottom. It's got the spelling of it, Kohoriki leaf, or Kohoriki leaf, I should say.
Yeah, I apologise to the tangata whenua for my pathetic pronunciation.
Oh, I've had a wee taste. Sorry, that was a sneaky wee taste, everyone. Can we have a sample, Martin? I forgot to ask.
Oh, yes, sample away. Now, by the way, the tonic that you've got, the tonic I really like goes with this. That I really think, and I really recommend if you're going to do a gin and tonic with this, is number 8.
Oh, okay. The Strange Love one, is it?
Strange Love.
Yeah.
It really is delicious. And if
that's a really good tonic, isn't it?
Yeah, and a gin and tonic, this particular gin goes with lime rather than lemon. Lemon will chop the nose off it. And so it goes with lime. And the other thing that you should have in there is fresh garden mint.
Oh.
So you get the mint and the rose coming up and lime in there, and it should be nice and fresh, and then it's absolutely delicious.
I can see how that would be. So I'm just sampling it straight right at the moment, and the rose is really coming through quite strong for me. I think that's something that my taste buds pick up really well.
No, it does. And some people, it puts off some people. I accept that.
What are we thinking, everyone? For those of you who like a good bit of Turkish delight, you'll be all over this gin.
But where this goes well are in some of the cocktails I'm about to talk about.
So I'm going to add a little bit of the old world as well, because I'm really keen to see. I think it's a lovely one for sipping as well, though, Martin. You know, like I just put that over ice and let it sit with the ice for a little bit, chill it down a bit.
Funny enough, our first cocktail is just simply called Cold Revenge. And it's just revenge straight over ice.
There we go. Well, I just did that. Do I get points for that? Yay.
You go, yeah. I was walking through Brooklyn a few years ago, and I saw these guys trying to gin straight, and it was terrible. So I came home and thought, I gotta try and do better than that, but I thought it was a cool idea.
So Dot's saying that she's getting rose and then a zippy hit of spice. What's driving the spice, Martin?
Well, what we have is obviously, as with most gins, obviously the juniper, and what we've got in there is obviously the coriander. They're the two common ones. But the fixative I'm using is not angelica. I'm using orris root.
And some people use both.
What's that?
Some people use both as well, which must be tricky. Yeah.
I have got Chinese licorice root in there, though.
Oh, hear that, Dot? Chinese licorice root.
Have you not seen what that is? It's okay. They're like little bits of wood, and if you grab a bottle of Bombay Sapphire, and people think that's floral, the overriding flavour coming through is a Chinese licorice root. They really pump it up.
Oh, that's so interesting.
Yeah, so that's cool. I'll just finish my name thing.
Oh yes, go back to the name. Sorry, we were at Black Rose. Right, where did we go from Black Rose?
Black Rose. I'm coming back to New Zealand. I've got bottles on the line, and I discover that a South Californian wine company has registered the name Black Rose Gin.
Yeah.
And they did it via a backhander. when I did it, because I had that name for about a year. And I just got absolutely screwed. So I came back and on Monday night, I went around and saw my little designer lady. She said, how'd the trip go? And when are we going to get the Black Rose name out there? So I gave her a really healthy dose of a big bottle of wine. She spent about 4 months on this design.
Oh, no.
And then I was told what a useless person I was. And I was lying back on my bed. It was Tuesday morning at 2 a.m. I had a gin and no name. And honestly, this is truthful, I was so angry. I just sat there and said, if I could just get my revenge against those Yanks, there's a name, I accept this. And that's where the name came from. I know I shouldn't say that. So it's not some great sort of,
We're all friends here, Martin. You can say exactly what you like.
Okay, well,
what comes to Gin Club stays in Gin Club, right, everyone?
Okay. Yeah, so that was cool. So we have this gin only has about 7 botanicals in it. It's really quite a simple gin.
Mm-hmm.
So we've got juniper and coriander seed and orris root powder, licorice root, a fraction of lemon zest. And if you're ever making a gin with lemon zest, I can tell you now, 2.5 litres of gin and 5 grams of lemon zest, and you've got a lemon drink.
Oh.
And lemon is that powerful.
I didn't realise that.
It's just stunning. Yeah, and then we've got kororiki leaf, and we have a little rose thing put in there.
So Cordula's saying that she's getting a lingering licorice taste, but she thinks that that's just her palate. So that's very interesting, isn't it? That Cordula's getting the licorice, Doc got some spice, and I've got the really strong kind of rose still going on for me.
Well, all of those combinations are all in there.
Yeah. Yeah. Interesting that.
I've drunk so much of it, I think my palate's shot.
Well, I must say, I'm really enjoying it without the Old World tonic. And I have to let everybody into a wee secret here. That Old World tonic, I was underwhelmed with that when I first drank that. I thought it was overly bitter, and I didn't really know where it had a place with gin. But I have since learnt through our friends at East Imperial that these kind of gins that are on the sweeter or the more floral end of the range, Old World tonic sits so beautifully with it. It's the traditional old recipe of tonic, and it's got higher quinine levels in it. And therefore, the bitterness of the quinine will cut through some of that sweetness in the gins, and you'll have this beautifully balanced drink. And that's certainly what I'm experiencing now.
Oh, really? I haven't tried Old World tonic.
Yeah. Yeah, you need to, Martin.
We all here to learn.
We sure are.
Now, the French 75 cocktail.
Oh, you're singing from my song sheet, Martin. I love a good French 75. Talk us through it, Martin.
Right. Okay, well, the French 75, if you dice, we're going to change it slightly. If you really dice up cucumber, really, really small, and put that in the bottom, and really munch up really small amounts of mint, put that in the bottom, and then put in half an egg white.
What?
Put that in the bottom, half an egg white. Yes. And a little bit of just a hint of sugar syrup before you put your fresh lemon juice in.
Yep. And
then you put the gin in.
Yeah.
Right, and you do all of this, and then finally, you will top it up with your prosecco or your champagne at the end, and then you put mint, etc. And what you find will be the rose will come up right through the centre of it.
Oh.
And it's absolutely stunning.
Oh, I could almost taste that. That sounds amazing.
And that is really cool. And I've got to be, in all honesty, it's my Italian barman who actually invented that particular. Because he said, French, we can do better than that.
Hilarious.
That is absolutely delicious.
Yes, I'm definitely going to have to try that. So cucumber, mint.
I'll send you the recipe.
Yes, and we'll put it up on the Facebook page.
There's another. All our cocktails all have a revenge theme.
Yes.
So that particular one we don't call the French 75. We just simply call it a vendetta. just like we have called revenge. Now we do another one, which is really cool. And all we do with it is we put gin, a little bit of ice, and 3 scoops of Kohu Road ice cream into a blender.
Wow.
Blend that, pick that out, then you put berries on top.
That's hilarious.
So that is also an absolutely delicious little one.
Okay, and isn't there just that ice cream that's just come out? Help me out here, people. I think it was Lewis Road Creamery that have brought out gin and tonic ice cream, gin and lemon ice cream.
I've seen that. I've never. I just went ahead because they wouldn't be able to have an alcoholic content to it, so
it'll be the flavour of it.
Is it just flavours?
I don't know. Has anyone tried that ice cream? Let us know if you've tried it. Dot's saying that she lost the sound. Dot, that might have been because I just had to mute my microphone for 2 seconds while my dog barked. She is not normally in here with me, but she's snuck in the side ranch slider, and I've been watching her out the corner of my eye because she's a naughty little minx. Here she comes again, and she'll make noise. Maybe she'll come and jump on camera so you can see her. She's
now,
so
Sarah,
naughty.
there's one cocktail I have to tell you about that is I will stop if the little minx comes in.
Oh, can you not hear her whinging at the door? Coco, come here. Come here. Come here. No, she's been a pain. Hopefully somebody else in the house will let her through the door. Come here. Come on. Sorry, Martin. You carry on.
No.
We won't let the dog steal the show. Let me get her. Hang on. Okay, I have no idea what that sound just was.
Oh. All right. A cocktail that you will stun everyone with. It's very simple, and you want to be able to. You can do it en masse, and most of it in advance. It's very simple, and it has a little bit of simple syrup, a little bit of gin. And we have fig and rose tea.
Ooh!
So what we do is we have fig and rose tea in water. And I'm not saying tap. When I say water, whenever I talk water, I'm never talking tap water. Obviously, you don't want chlorine coming through you. But what you do is basically you just soak the fig and rose tea in water in your fridge 24 hours before.
Oh wow!
Okay? You mix that with a gin and a sugar syrup in a like a martini glass, and it comes out very much the colour of the dress you have on, Sarah. And you decorate it with an edible flower.
Oh, how beautiful!
And it looks absolutely stunning. But guess what we call it?
Okay, what?
We call it a guillotine. You know why?
Why?
Because friggin' Rose. So Louis, he thought Marie Antoinette was his rose, and he was a fig. So you're drinking almost. The theme is revenge, so we call it a guillotine.
Okay, I get that. I get that. Yeah. Right, so for everyone asking about the recipes, the cocktail recipes that Martin's just sharing, I'll get them off him and put them up on the Facebook group. Yeah.
No, honestly, they're stunning.
Yeah, I can't wait to try that French 75.
Oh, yeah, that's beautiful. My favourite one we have is one called, do you know what a stiletto is?
Yes.
What is a stiletto?
A shoe that I put on.
And what was it before it was a shoe?
Oh, I don't know.
Okay. A stiletto originally was a Roman writing implement.
Oh, wow.
Going back 2,000 years. Right? It's a little nibby bit. Right? In the 15th century, and this is where I picked it up from, the stiletto became the implement for a woman who would stuff it. It was a small knife she stuck up her sleeve.
Cool. Doc got it. Doc got it.
High heel shoe and knife. Oh,
woohoo, Doc.
That's right. And when the males were playing cards or they told their ladies to do something and she was a bit angry with them, she'd pick the knife out and stab him. Now he would just laugh because a bit of blood on him was only small. But the problem he didn't realise is the stiletto was so sharp that would have pierced his heart. And they were trying to stop the blood, and eventually they died.
Oh my goodness.
We made a cocktail called a stiletto because it's a bit zingy. So we've got gin in it, but we've got what's it called? Ginger syrup with it.
Oh, yum.
It also has Saint Germain, the elderflower. It has lemongrass, and it has chili flakes.
What?
And you try it, it's fusion in a glass. And it's absolutely stunning. And again, it was my Italian barman invented it.
And I imagine, Martin, like particularly for me, I am getting the rose coming through, and I imagine that would almost pull all of those flavors together.
It does.
Yeah.
It does. It's absolutely stunning.
I think you've got a winner there for Dot because she's saying she loves ginger. So, yes.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
We've given it to a few barmen in Auckland to make, and they butcher it.
Yeah. Yeah. So Dot's asking for the recipes. Yes, Dot, we will make sure that we get you those recipes because
Please give us that cocktail.
Yeah.
You will. Honestly, it's just a winner.
Yeah. I'm trying to imagine all of those flavors in one glass. It really would be fusion.
It sounds ridiculous, doesn't it?
Mm.
We spent a lot of time. Well, we spent the one flavour I've never been able to make work is orange. I can't get orange and gin to work. It just goes. The orange just runs right over the top of the gin.
Yeah.
So kudos to people who can make that combination work, because I can't.
Yeah. But I do think, and I'd love your thoughts on this, Martin. Do you think that each distiller has, certain flavor profiles that really work for them because they're flavor profiles that they know or that, their palate knows?
Yeah. Yeah. If someone came along and they gave me, there'd be nothing wrong with the gin, but I might just not like those flavors.
Exactly. And we talk about.
I don't play with it.
Yeah, and we talk about this a lot in, at Suggestion, because it is, it's not a reflection on the gin if it doesn't sit well for you, because somebody else will definitely like that gin. It's just that it doesn't work for your flavor profile, so.
Yeah, we tried to make a martini, and we thought that we were only semi-successful with Revenge. We didn't think, I wasn't impressed by it. And then he tried a dirty martini, and I thought it was disgusting. And then I forgot he made some gin. So what I say to him is, we're really honest. And we say, if this is rubbish, and he was just chucking and saying, this is disgusting.
I imagine, so we are joined tonight by our resident martini expert, and Cordula's chiming in on this one. She wants to know, Martin, who is we? So this is you and your Italian bartender friend, is that right?
Yes.
And does this said Italian bartender friend have a place that we can go and sample these cocktails that he's made?
We can certainly, at the moment he doesn't, but we can certainly arrange it.
Mm-hmm. There you go, people. We could get that sorted out. In fact, yes, I know just the place. I'm in secret little negotiations at the moment, so all shall be revealed in some certain time, hopefully after this weekend. And yeah, we could have a place that we could definitely do this.
And I shouldn't tell you this, ladies, but he what used to be a model for Armani.
Oh, stop it.
It's true. I went up showing my hairdresser. She said, look at this guy, what do you think? And she goes, oh la la, his name's Alicia.
Okay.
She says, is Alicia going to be here? And it's like anything. I didn't think he was that handsome, and then until I saw some of his modelling things, and I was like, yeah, I can see that now.
Crazy. Sorry, I think something is going funny on my computer at the moment.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
I'm doing a sci-fi version of Sarah. There we go. It's all back to normal. No idea what's going on.
Yes.
So Cordula was just asking where in the country you are. So Martin's actually in Auckland. He's not far from myself and Suggestion Headquarters.
That's right.
And so, yeah, we might have to hook up a session in Auckland for you, Cordula. Dot, that's all right for you, isn't it? We'll just have to make sure you get an Uber home. That's all.
I have got a machine, though. It's called a motor vehicle.
Yes. Yes.
It's got tyres on it.
And it takes you from A to B. Yes. Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Hilarious. So let's just talk for a minute, Martin, about how you came to this recipe. You said that you had hilariously to me, but I'm sure it wasn't funny for you at the time, gone down every single possible rabbit hole. Yes. And dead end that you could. How did you end up getting to this recipe?
Just trial. I wanted to get away from the typical type of citrus gin.
Mm-hmm.
Simply because most of them are like that. And I like that, but I just wanted to do something a little bit different.
Different, yeah. I get that. Yeah. And what made you go to Rose? It's not really a bloke thing, I'd have to say, Martin. You know, like Rose.
No, it's not meant to be.
No, but I mean for you to go, I think I'll use Rose.
Okay, my answer to that is, on the demographic, 60% of gin drinkers are females.
Yes.
20 to 25% are what I call the sophisticated male, and the others will just drink turpentine underneath Grafton Bridge.
Oh.
So you don't worry about that last bit. And I try and slide myself into the more discerning male type, but honestly, it is about 60% of the female, and I just thought that females are more likely to like a floral more so than a male.
Mm.
So if you're shooting an arrow out, you want to hit the belly of the whale, don't you?
Yes.
If you get the fins.
Hang on, are you referring to us females as whales?
No. Everything you say these days. No, ladies, I'm not calling you a bunch of whales.
Sorry, Martin.
No, I'm not.
It's a little bit of long weekend humour, isn't it, tonight?
Yes, indeed. Yes, I just, in the end, what I wanted to do also was not have many botanicals in there.
Yeah.
I truly believe in design or anything. It's Da Vinci, isn't it? He said, simplicity is the greatest sophistication.
Mm.
And I just like that.
Mm. Mm.
I mean, I know the botanist claims they have 24 botanicals. I defy anyone after the first eight or nine to be able to pick the rest of them out.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, it is.
Is someone just taking their chain here? Because I can't taste it. As I said, my palate's probably shot.
Well, you've got Dot laughing away. She says she's laughing her head off. She says we had a subgroup in the Alpha Club called the Whale Club.
Come in with portly figures. Well, I haven't got a portly figure.
No, I've met Martin in the flesh. He is not portly at all. And now I've gone into the
when
witness.
you last saw me, I had a stuffed back, didn't I?
Yes, you did. You put your back out last time we met.
I do, and it's just come right. That's because I was carrying crates of gin around.
Oh. Occupational hazard. So let's just talk. So we have this one, the Revenge Gin, but you also have another little sippy that you created that we may have.
I did. Have you not? You haven't.
We have had a chance to have a little sample of that one.
And what did you think of that one?
It's really lovely. Really lovely.
It is. What that particular one is where I age it in a barrel. Now, most people, well, a lot of gins won't work in a barrel simply because they're citrus based, and we're going to run into conflict with the wood.
Huh? Because of the citrus?
Yeah, the acidity will clash with the vanillins that are coming out of the wood.
Huh? I didn't know that.
So it doesn't happen all the time, but if you have real citrusy, that's what's going to happen. And you've got to just think of your but with a soft floral gin, which this one is, I knew that it would work. It was just a matter of do you go French oak or American white oak, or as some people said, why don't you use a New Zealand wood? And there's a very good answer to that.
There's no barrels made of it?
If you want to spend 5 years and pay the DSIR to make certain you're not going to poison everyone, yes, you can take your money and do that. That's fine. But I just go with the tried and true and save my money.
Yeah.
That's the and the reason I went with American white oak rather than French is because the French white oak, the grains of wood are a lot tighter. And we're making a gin, and we're not trying to make a Grand Cru. So therefore, I want the flavours of the vanillins to actually come out. The other thing with that particular aged gin that you had, Sarah, was that unlike, I'm not mentioning any names in the New Zealand marketplace, but there are gins here that they do it for commercial purposes. They underage them. And as you know, they typically will age them for about 3 months, the barrel, 3 to 4 months. I would suggest that you need to do it for about 6.
Yeah. And you can definitely taste
and again, it goes to the size of the barrel that they're aging it in as well.
Yeah, but you can also taste it in the gin, can't you? When it's been aged for 3 months versus 6 months, there's a very distinct difference.
You really taste it. And we can do another session on that one night, because when you taste my one, the first thing you should smell, the very first thing that I smell is the wood.
Yeah.
And then going to go from wood to juniper, and then I thought, then it's almost like a bourbon thing, and then is it going to a whiskey thing, and it's like this.
It really is like that, actually. You're quite right.
And it's moving as it goes down your throat.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, the other thing I should tell you that I did have help when I was making the gin. The Italian guy who does the cocktails, his mother is living out here, and she used to make Sambuca back in Italy.
Oh.
So I was taking all my gins along to her, and being told, no, take this away. It's disgusting.
Oh, you're kidding.
No, so it was always the first, the second, the third tongue she was always going on about. So she was like my prime taster. So to show you what she's like, when we do our cocktails, we actually pair them off with little eddies, little eatables.
Yes.
Like tuna and all that. Well, when we did that one night, we hired a commercial kitchen here in Auckland. I won't say where. When we went in, I and Alicia and the mother went in. The first thing we had to do for the first 2 hours was clean that commercial kitchen. And I said to Alicia, why? And all he said was, Italian mama.
Oh, okay. Her standard is well above the rest of us, right?
It's ridiculous. There was nothing wrong with the kitchen.
So funny.
Yeah. But we should do a taste on that barrel aged gin.
What do you think, everybody? Would you like to try that barrel aged gin as well?
But you notice that I don't call it barrel aged.
No. Because?
Go back and look at the label.
Yes.
It's called oak rested.
Oh, I like that so much more.
And why do you think it's called oak rested?
Because you have stored it longer.
No, it's a legal requirement. You cannot have a white spirit in the United States. It's called barrel aged.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Now, in fact, there are some, for instance, few spirits from Illinois, right? But they managed to get that through because from 2008 to 2012, the regulators didn't even follow their own regulations. But now, if you take a white spirit there, you can't call it barrel aged. Few spirits does, but they got through because they now run the argument that we've put so much money into this.
But it's not white. You're barrel aged.
No.
Is it still classified as white?
It goes in.
Yeah. Is
and
it
then
still?
it sucks out the vanillins and changes the colour.
Yeah. Is it still classified as white though?
Yeah, well, it's a gin is classified as a white spirit.
Mm. Yeah.
So when I heard that, I just thought, well, what else? And I like the name oak rested. I think that's
I love it.
Resting on oak.
Yeah, I think it's. To me, that sounds nicer than barrel aged.
Mm. And I do say on the label, eventually it's hand turned because I do go in and change and twice a week each barrel. These are only small barrels. I age in 15-litre barrels.
Oh wow!
And I do pick them up, and I am turning it around and sloshing it against the sides.
Amazing.
So yeah. So that's you wouldn't be doing it, I guess, if you were making if you were a Bombay Sapphire and you're doing it, you wouldn't be going in with their quantities and doing it, would you?
Not at all. No, there'd probably be a lot of barrels to do. Yeah. Well, Martin, we are getting up to the top of the hour. We were a few minutes late, but we are getting to the top of the hour. I don't know about everybody else, but this has been a fabulous wee tasting because I don't know. I don't think I've laughed this much in a tasting for a while now, Martin.
You've got to have a laugh, don't you?
Absolutely, you've got to have a laugh.
And it's about having fun and having life's an experience.
Yeah, totally. So we have some. I think this person actually joined us the other tasting as well. And so we have somebody from, it looks like Russia, joining us on our YouTube channel. Welcome to whoever that is from Russia. Only sorry that you can't be tasting the gin with us. And
that's a shame.
yeah, exactly. Yes, it has been entertaining, hasn't it, Cordula? It has been very entertaining, even though, like, Martin's done amazingly well, hasn't he, everybody? Because we've had technology issues. He's having to talk through his phone. He's having to listen to an echo of me. And he's still managed to pull it all together and give us a very entertaining tasting with a whole lot of amazing cocktails as well. So, gosh, we've had...
I'll get those recipes to you.
Yeah, we've been spoiled tonight.
We'll set up some time with Alicia as well.
Yeah, we would love that.
And then you can see what a real cocktail, because I mean, I'll give it a go, but hey, I make this stuff, but I'm not a cocktail guy.
Yeah. I totally understand that.
It's a completely different skill.
And I do think a lot of distillers that we meet as well, they're just like, no, don't ruin my gin with a cocktail, you know, like, don't go adding to it, just have it on ice and then we'll be happy. And so...
I wanted my gin to be used in a cocktail.
I think your gin in particular, though, Martin, does lend itself really well to cocktails. I think you know, that flavor profile that you've got going on really does add to a cocktail. And yeah, absolutely. So Dot's saying, thanks, Martin, for a great tasting. This has been...
Thank you, Dot.
Yeah, this has been a really good laugh. And Cordula has said this has been very entertaining. Thank you. And yes, everyone is saying what a wonderful tasting this has been. For those of you that are watching on the replay, if you didn't catch us live, you will probably wonder why Martin is talking on his phone, and that is because we've had technology issues. But put a hashtag replay and let us know that you've enjoyed this tasting. And Martin, thank you so much once again for joining us. This has been a real pleasure.
Thank you, Sarah, and everyone for joining us.
Yeah, this has been a real pleasure, and quite a different and unique gin for everybody to try. So this has been really great for people to expand their flavor profile and be able to try this gin. So we're very, very thankful that we got to put this and include this in the box. So thank you, Martin, once again. And
thank you very much.
We look forward to trying the barrel aged one as well.
That's right.
Yeah. All right.
Okay, well,
thank you very much.
Sign off,
yes, absolutely.
We'll catch up soon.
Yes, absolutely. Don't forget to send me those cocktail recipes, Martin, will you?
I'll definitely do that, Sarah.
Yeah. They'll hound me otherwise.
Yeah, I'm sure you will.
All right. Well, thank you, everybody, for joining us tonight for the live tasting. Thank you, Martin, for joining us. And
thank you, Sarah. Thank you, everyone.
For those of you who haven't seen we do have another tasting this week. It is this Thursday night, and it is with Saskia from Humdinger. Gosh, I knew I'd say that wrong. Humdinger Gin. And so you've met Andrew, now you're meeting Saskia. So I will see you Thursday night at 7:30. And Martin, I will see you very soon.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
See ya.
Bye.